Hey everyone, Rob here. So the scales, everything is set up and the numbers are in and they're excellent actually. In addition to leveling all the pads, the tire pressures have to be set and even. In fact, set them to race pressures where the fronts are typically 1 to 2 pounds less than the rears. The other thing, disconnecting the sway bar. Fact is, this sway bar just slides on and off, which is a really good sign. So the sway bar sitting here in neutral is not binding, it's not having an effect on the weight transfer. Then around to the front, had to take the nose off. That weighs 4 pounds if anyone cares. And on the front of this car, sway bars are kind of buried. That's the end of the sway bar. That's the link from the bell crank. And the sway bar is this funny blade looking thing, currently set in its softest position. So what are the numbers, you say? Here we go. I'm really happy with this. I'm not going to touch it. 2 pounds difference across the front. 7 pounds difference across the rear. You know, if I could get it to under 5 pounds, I'd be a happy guy, but man, you start messing with it, you can start chasing problems. It is showing 9 pounds different left to right. I did put the oil cooler on the right hand side this year, and there's oil in the lines, etc. Honestly, the car should be symmetrical left and right, but within 0.5% I can live with that. And front and rear we talked about in a previous video. 947 pounds car alone with some fuel in it. It would be cool to actually figure out how many liters are in it, but that's more work than I feel like getting into. So it looks like we're not going to do a video on how to set these things up, but there are some quirks to it. I'll just give you an idea if I were to adjust something. So let's zoom in. Front and rear, this car is what they call a push rod suspension. Sometimes in Formula One you hear them refer to push rod and pull rod designs. Essentially, that rod there is at the bottom of the hub. When the wheel wants to move upwards, that rod moves this way. Rod goes this way, which turns the bell crank that way, which compresses the spring and shock absorber. Same idea on the front, same kind of bell cranks and push rods. Now here's a funny thing, because I've done this a fair amount on this car and tons on my stock car. If I was to lengthen that rod, it has jam nuts at each end. It has left-hand thread on one end and right hand on the other. If I were to loosen the jam nuts and rotate that threaded rod, I could make it longer. That will increase the weight on this corner. But in a four-wheel car, they're kind of like a teeter-totter, right? If I increase the weight on this corner, it will also increase the weight on that corner. And the opposite corners will become lighter. So if I tried to balance out that 7 pound difference on the rear, I could do it, and we'll see how ambitious I get. Let's go have a look at the numbers again. Okay, the right rear is 7 pounds heavier. I could shorten that rod or lengthen that rod, which would fix my 7-pound imbalance. Problem is, let's say I shorten this rod, reduce the weight on this wheel, that's going to reduce the weight on the left front. What do my numbers look like? Oh darn, left front's already 2 pounds lighter. So it's going to make the difference in the rear better and the difference in the front worse. So this is the challenge of setting up corner weights. And at some point you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? And honestly, for that amount of weight and for how neutral the handling is on this car right now, I'm inclined to say it's not worth messing with. I think my next thing is I will, in the next week or so, I'm going to get dressed in all my gear, put the nose back on, sit in the car, have the computer where I can see it, and just see the front rear weight distribution, and most importantly the overall weight. That's the big thing. You can't move weight in the car by adjusting suspension, physically moving the battery or radiators. That's about it. There's really nothing you can do. But by having every corner with an equal weight on it, every tire is going to have the same amount of grip, means it's predictable. So, next big job, and this one I could do a video on. Next big job is to string the car, and that means to check the toe in or toe out on all 4 corners. We're using basically string, fishing line in my case. Again, if you pay attention and you set it up very carefully, you can get very accurate results. So I'll do one of those. Similarly, camber, I'll check the camber on all 4 corners. I've made a tool for that. I don't see any reason to adjust cambers. Honestly, I don't see a reason to adjust anything because it is handling so darn nice. But it's good to have the peace of mind knowing that you've checked everything that you can check. So all in all, a good day.